Well, today is St Botolph's Day, the 17th of June, the day of our patronal festival here at St Botolph's Church in Barton Seagrave. Today would have had a particularly special ring this year because it was the central day in our 900 plus celebrations which sadly had to be cancelled due to the present crisis we're facing. But we were to celebrate at least 900 years of worship here on this spot in Barton Seagrave. We know that this building, or at least a part of it, has been standing on this very spot for at least 900 years. And it's quite likely, of course, that there was a building here before that. It may well be that there was an Anglo-Saxon church before this Norman church building. That would have been made of wood and would have been destroyed by the Normans when they built our present St Botolph's. Just reflect on that for a moment. At least 900 years of worshipping God. You know, that's almost halfway back to Jesus. That's an amazing thought, isn't it? Every Sunday for 900 years, that is, until this year. So who was St Botolph? Well, he was not one of the major saints. There is no saint's day in the prayer book for St Botolph. He is considered a minor saint within the church. He was an Anglo-Saxon saint who lived and ministered in East Anglia in the 7th century. We don't know all that much about him. We do know that he had a brother called Adolf, but we don't remember him very much for very obvious reasons. St Botolph died in 680 AD, 400 years before our church building was built. And then, in 960 AD, his remains were dug up. They did odd things like that in those days. And they were divided, and his head was sent off to Ely. His middle was sent off to Thorney, and the rest of him was sent down to Westminster Abbey. That's a bit gruesome for our taste, but nevertheless, that is what happened. When that part of him that was sent to Westminster Abbey arrived in London, it passed through all 4 of the city gates in London. That's Billingsgate, Bishopsgate, Aldgate, and Aldersgate. And because of that, he has become the patron saint of wayfarers. Now, there are about 70 churches dedicated to St Botolph in the country. That's not very many. 3 of them are in the City of London, at the site of each of those gates into the city. There was a 4th one at Billingsgate, but that was destroyed in the Great Fire of London. So there are 3 that remain, and you can go and see them if you wish to do a tour of the St Botolph's in the country. There's one famous St Botolph's that is very well known, but not everybody realises it's dedicated to St Botolph. And that is a church in the east of the country, in Boston in Lincolnshire. It's affectionately known as the Boston Stump. It has a hugely high tower that can be seen from miles around. I'm sure you're familiar with it. Well, that is St Botolph's in Boston. So why dedicate our church building in Barton Seagrave to St Botolph? Well, apparently there is evidence that it hasn't always been dedicated to St Botolph. There is a suggestion by some that all of it, or at least part of it, was dedicated to St John. Nevertheless, St Botolph's it is today, and that is the way we know it. Maybe, just maybe, it was dedicated to St Botolph because Barton Seagrave might very well have marked a resting point for travellers travelling down from the north to London or travelling east to west across the country. Maybe Barton Seagrave provided a suitable resting place, and so St Botolph became the patron saint of our church building. So what does it mean for us? Well, not very much, to be honest. It's a quaint story and an interesting connection. But it is a fascinating connection. I think it's very appropriate. Thinking about wayfaring and rest, do you remember the words of Jesus? We hear them as some of the comfortable words before the communion in the Book of Common Prayer. Matthew chapter 11 and verse 28, Jesus said this, "Come to me, all who labour and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Now, wouldn't it be wonderful if we were known as a place where people could find rest for the weary soul? There are many people who are weary and burdened today, especially in the present crisis. It's easy to feel that maybe there is no answer, that all is loss and all is pain. But there is an answer, you know. There is rest and there is peace that can be found against all the burdens of this world. It can be found in Jesus Christ alone. Come to me, all who labour and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest.